Education in Ancient Egypt. Education in ancient Egypt was a crucial aspect of society, contributing significantly to the development of one of the most advanced civilizations in history. This system was deeply intertwined with the culture, religion, and social hierarchy of the time. From the education of young scribes to the training of priests and craftsmen, education was the foundation upon which much of Egyptian society was built. The importance of education in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, education was not universally accessible. It was typically reserved for the elite and those destined for specific roles within the administration, religious institutions, and trades. However, the education system was highly regarded, and learning was considered a pathway to personal advancement and societal contribution. Education was seen as a way to honor the gods, maintain order, ma'at, and ensure the continuity of cultural and scientific achievements. The role of scribes. One of the most important professions in ancient Egyptian society was that of the scribe. Scribes were essential for the administration of the state, the documentation of religious texts, and the management of agricultural and economic activities. The education of scribes began at a young age, typically around 5 years old. Young boys, usually from noble or affluent families, were sent to schools attached to temples or administrative offices. The curriculum for scribes included learning hieroglyphics, hieratic script, and, in later periods, Demotic script. They studied a variety of subjects, including mathematics, astronomy, literature, and law. Memorization and copying texts were common methods of instruction, ensuring that students could accurately reproduce and understand complex documents. Temple schools and religious education. Temples were not only places of worship, but also centers of learning. The education provided in temple schools was comprehensive, covering religious rituals, sacred texts, and moral philosophy. Students were trained to become priests, who played a central role in maintaining religious practices and temple functions. Priestly education was rigorous and extensive. It included the study of theology, astronomy, medicine, and literature. Priests had to be well-versed in rituals, prayers, and the interpretation of omens. This education ensured that religious ceremonies were performed correctly and that priests could advise and heal the community. Vocational training and apprenticeships. In addition to formal education for scribes and priests, ancient Egypt had a system of vocational training for craftsmen and artisans. Young boys often learned trades through apprenticeships with experienced craftsmen. These trades included pottery, carpentry, metalworking, and stone carving. Apprenticeships typically began in early adolescence, with boys learning skills directly from masters in workshops. This hands-on education was crucial for maintaining the quality and continuity of Egyptian craftsmanship, which was highly valued both domestically and internationally. Education for women. The role of women in ancient Egyptian education is less documented, but evidence suggests that women, especially those from elite families, could receive education. Some noble women were literate and played significant roles in religious and administrative functions. For example, the god's wife of Ammonius, a high-ranking priestess, required education to perform her duties. Women were often educated at home, learning domestic skills and, in some cases, literacy and numeracy. While women's education was not as formalized as that of men, their contributions to society, particularly in religious and economic activities, were significant. Education methods and materials. The methods and materials used in ancient Egyptian education were diverse. Instruction often took place in temple schools, administrative buildings, and private homes. Teachers used a variety of materials, including papyrus scrolls, ostraca, pottery shards, and wooden writing boards. Lessons involved rote memorization, copying texts, and practical exercises. Students were frequently tested on their knowledge and skills, ensuring they met the high standards required for their future roles. Discipline was strict, with corporal punishment used to maintain order and encourage diligence. The curriculum. The curriculum in ancient Egyptian schools was broad and covered several disciplines. Literacy, learning to read and write in hieroglyphics, hieratic, and demotic scripts. Mathematics, including arithmetic, geometry, and the calculation of areas and volumes, essential for architecture and land management. Astronomy, understanding celestial movements for religious and agricultural purposes. Literature, studying classic texts, proverbs, and wisdom literature that conveyed moral and ethical lessons. Law, learning the legal codes and administrative procedures for governance. Higher education and specialized training. For those pursuing advanced careers, higher education and specialized training were available. This included advanced studies in medicine, engineering, and statecraft. Doctors, engineers, and high-ranking officials underwent extensive training to master their respective fields. Medical education was particularly advanced, with doctors learning about anatomy, herbal medicine, and surgical techniques. Medical papyri, such as the Ebers Papyrus, served as textbooks, detailing various treatments and procedures. Influence of education on Egyptian civilization. The education system in ancient Egypt played a pivotal role in the civilization's longevity and success. It ensured a steady supply of skilled professionals to manage the state, conduct religious rituals, and maintain cultural and scientific achievements. Education helped preserve the continuity of knowledge across generations, contributing to Egypt's reputation as a center of learning and culture in the ancient world. Conclusion. Education in ancient Egypt was a complex and multifaceted institution that shaped the lives of individuals and the development of the society. From the meticulous training of scribes and priests to the practical apprenticeship of craftsmen, the Egyptian education system was designed to perpetuate the cultural, religious, and technological achievements of one of history's most remarkable civilizations. This is a general overview to get started. Let me know if there are specific sections or details you would like me to expand on, or if you have any other preferences for the content.